I get this question asked at least 10 times a day, which is how do I actually learn stuff and how do I retain that information as well? And for years, it was happening effortlessly with me till the time I distilled the process in my mind, which I use right now to learn everything fast and efficiently. I feel it's not about how much you learn, but the way you learn something. I'll cover 3 particular things in this video. Number 1, the principles to keep in mind while learning something. Number 2, the strategy that I use particularly. And number 3, some hacks that can be used to learn much more faster. Let's start. This is how we'll learn something. So in my whole learning process, the first thing that I need to make you understand all is something called as principles. Now, what do I mean by principles? Well, principles is something that you need as a guiding factor for you to learn something. What I normally see is people just want to learn about topics, starts watching some YouTube videos or just buy some books and think they're learning something. I don't think that's the right way. Before you start learning something, you need to inguide some principles inside you. The number 1 principle that you need is something called as mastery. That means you are not just learning it for the sake of learning it, you are trying to learn it on the master level. When you're trying to learn it on the master level, you would be inclined to retain more and actually have that knowledge base ready whenever you want to speak on that. And that's really important because it's not about how much you can read or how much you can listen and how much you can see. It's more about how much can you retain. Can you really use that information when it's time to need? Example, if you have watched my, let's say, 3 marketing videos, and when someone asked you to make a marketing strategy, were those principles rotating in your head while reading that marketing strategy? If not, it was useless. If you saw my sales script video and you were not using that sales script principles while going on the call, there's no point of watching that video. You wasted 1.5 hours. The whole idea is you need to go with the mastery principle in mind so that you ingrain that knowledge in yourself and you use actually in the real life circumstances. Number 2 principle is curiosity. Curiosity simply means that you are really curious for that subject, for that information, for that particular topic. And curiosity is not something that you can fake. Curiosity is by nature in someone and you need to develop that curiosity. If you don't feel curious enough around that topic, you will not actually dwell deep into it. And if you don't go deep into it, you will never have the advantage of retaining the knowledge. If you say, Himanshu, you have answer to everything, the reason is that because when I learn something, I really learn something. And when I'm not in the mood, I will not learn about it. And there has been days where for 8 months straight, I've not read a single book or gone through a YouTube video or completed a course, which is fine because I'm not in that mood. But when that curiosity strikes, when I want to learn about that topic, I would just go so deep into it that even the subject matter expert cannot question me on the knowledge that I have, though I've read from that person only. It's because I've got really curious about it and then I'm learning it. Number 3 is called as standard of learning that a lot of people have missed. What is standard of learning? You have standards in life for everything. Standard for your lifestyle, standard for the phone you use, standard for the toxicity that you accept, standard of your friends, standard of your schools, standard of your college. You have standard for everything, but you don't have a standard for learning. You need to have a minimum benchmark or a standard for yourself when you're trying to learn something. And that standard should be nothing but mastery. And that standard is what keeps you up at night. It's what keeps you pushing when everyone else would quit. Whenever you are trying to learn a difficult subject, you need to understand that a lot of people will quit in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. The idea is how you don't quit for the next 10 years. And that's when you will achieve mastery on that topic. I started playing chess, I think at the age of 9 or 11. And till date I play it. It's mastery. It's not about just learning some tactics and knowing how to play chess. It's about learning it so well for my life that at the age of 50, I really feel like a master of that topic. When I started doing business, I was like at the age of 13. Today I'm 26. 13 years, 10 years, whatever it has been, I spent on that topic again and again and again and trying to achieve nothing but mastery. My standard of learning for any topic that I choose in my life should be really high. And I don't choose everything. I don't want to know everything about everything. I want to know some things but really well and just surface level knowledge of rest of the parts. But when I am having this notion that this is something that I want to master on, the standard of learning should be really high. And by standard, the standard of mentor should be high, the standard of content should be high, the standard of platform should be high. Every place where I'm learning from should be at the highest level because I'm trying to master that subject, not just learn it on surface level. Now, before I go into the way of how I actually learn about something, I'll tell you some hacks that I use, okay? And these hacks are really good because they've helped me learn a lot. Number 1 hack that I use is something called as GPT everything. Now, before that, it was Google everything, but now it is GPT everything. Whenever you learn stuff, there will be some words that you don't understand, some sentence you don't understand, some insider joke that you don't understand, some concepts that you don't understand. And it's completely fine because you're learning that subject. The idea is not to leave it. The idea is to Google it out. And unless you don't understand that topic, that statement, that word, you don't move forward. And that's when your mastery would be created. I'll give you a very simple example. I was first time going to a chess tournament. I did not know that there's a chess clock in a tournament. And I went to a tournament and I saw two people clicking on clocks and I was like, what is this? What is this new thing, new technology these guys are using on chess boards? And I was so curious that I left the tournament, went to my coach, my chess coach, and be like, what is this? And he's like, why are you here? Why not at the tournament? I'm like, because I don't know that. And I am asking those questions and everything else I saw in the tournament, like why are these boards not metallic boards and why do we have sheets of boards? Why is green and white and not black and white? Like I asked so many questions just because I'm curious about the subject and I'm trying to become a master of that subject. Similarly with business, similarly with life, like whatever subjects I'm interested in, I just GPT and Google everything till the time I'm not very, very sure on what I'm talking about. Number 2, audio plus physical. Which simply means that whenever you're trying to read a book, let's say I'm trying to read this book, I would not just read the book. I would have notes. I would mark pages. Like example, you would see this page is marked, this page is marked. You would see I'll mark pages, I'll take notes inside the book, I'll underline stuff. And this most important part is audio plus physical. That means I'll have an audio book of this book and a physical book of this book. What helps is I'll put the earphones in and I'll start listening to the audiobook while reading it. My reading speed will twice itself. That means if I use 10 hours to complete this book, I'll use 5. Why? Because I'm listening as well, I'm reading as well. So I'll retain more, I'll take faster notes, and I'm understanding everything in much more detail, plus in lesser time. Bill Gates was asked that, what is that one superpower that you would want in life since you're very rich? And he said, I would twice my reading speed. Imagine a billionaire saying, I would twice my reading speed. That's a superpower. It's not I can fly, it's not I can jump off buildings, it's I can read twice as fast. Like that's what he wants. And I completely agree with him. The reason he said that is because he can process, retain and acquire information faster than anyone, which is one of the biggest things you can have. Because if you can memorize things and understand them, not just memorize, on a deeper level, you would be beyond comprehension of normal understanding of humans. Because you can just apply things and read them off whenever you want. Like Elon Musk built rocket by reading books. Like what else you want to know? Like you can't market your business, you can't sell something, you can't get some operation stuff sorted, you can't build 100 crore business. He built a rocket by reading books. Like what are you talking about? You don't have a degree on that. You can achieve anything if you are a good reader. I did not know anything about corporate law, corporate finances, valuations. I just read books enough times that I would understand those topics. And now I don't think anybody would be on that corporate law topic. And I know how laws play, what I need to do, what I don't need to do, what are HR policies, like every department. Just read about it. And the whole idea is how much can you do, how much you can focus on it, right? Number 3, my favorite, it's called as Workflowy. Now Workflowy is an app that you can have on a phone, your PC, iPad, everywhere. Now this is a free tool, but this tool has a feature. It's called as bullets, under bullets, under bullets. So let's say I have a main topic which is the book name. So let's say Art of War. In Art of War, I'm reading chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. In chapter 3, I can have X, Y, Z, all these notes. And all these combined is just in one bullet. So in my workflow, I just have something called as books. And in those books, there are like 50, 60, 70, bullet points. If you click on that, there's chapters. Then you click on that, there's notes. There's photos of books. There is diagram photos. There is my notes, like everything. So whenever I want to go to some information, I would just go on Workflow, search the book name and I have everything in front of me, which makes me retain information faster. Plus, whenever I need that, it's on my fingertips. I don't need to read the book again or have a book with me every single time to go through the notes. And that's why I use Workflow, which you can use as well. And now let's come to your favorite part, which is strategy. What strategy do I use to learn something? And by the way, if you're liking this video, there's no harm in clicking the subscribe button. It's a red color button that you can click, which will help me grow this channel more. What's my strategy? Very simple. Whenever I want to get mastery over a concept or a topic, whatever you say it, right? What normal people do, go to any YouTube video, start watching podcasts, get some books ordered and bullshit method. You'll not learn. Why? Because you are acquiring information left, right and center, which is not aligned. The way I do it is with a very simple way. What I do is I order the most complex, like what masters of masters would read book on that particular topic. Example, I wanted to learn about valuations, funding, series A, B, law around that, finances around that, how it is played, how it is not played, everything like that. So there's a book by McKinsey. I think it's called Valuation Only. It's this thick of a book. It has around 600 pages, and my team can put a photo of it, and it's expensive as well. I think 2,000-3,000, whatever. It's a very complex book. Like, it has been a month, I think, reading it, and I've read, I think, 25 pages, not more than that. Like, it's that complex. I went on the first page. Now, when I'm reading that complex book, the whole idea is, the moment I'll start reading it, I'll not understand a single word, and that's where the game is. Because in the first 3 lines, I'll find a word that I don't understand. Let's say the word is Series A. I'm like, what is Series A? Cool. I'll use the hacks. What was the hack? GPT everything. So I'll GPT it. Oh, Series A is called this. Perfect. I'll keep reading 5th line. New word. I don't understand. Perfect. GPT it. Then I'm reading, and there's a term called, let's say, ROIC percentage. I'm like, oh shit, what is ROIC percentage now? Now I GPT it. I don't understand it. No problem. Now I'll order another book, which is just on ROIC, or watch a podcast, which is on ROIC, or watch a YouTube video, which is just on ROIC. Once I've understood that concept, again back to the main book. And the whole idea is to just complete this complex book. If you can complete this book, you have mastered that topic, because it was the most complex thing. And even if you're not mastered, you are way above the average person on that particular topic. So if you want to learn about marketing, pick the most complex book on marketing. If you want to learn about trading, pick the most complex book on trading. If you want to learn chess, pick the most complex book on that. And because you have mastered the complex book on the first day, your principles, fundamentals, and everything would be aligned. The reason it is complex is because it is talking about fundamental in the most detail. That's why it's complex. And that's why you will be aligned. You're not taking information left, right, and center. And you would have mind blows after mind blows after mind blows, because you're reading in a series of complexion. And you're reading every word, every statement, every concept, like your life depends on it. And because I'm reading a book, a video, a podcast on just one word, the amount of acumen I would have on that particular topic is immense, and nobody would beat me on that. And especially because I'm taking notes, I'm having my iPad, I'm doing everything left, right, and center, the retention I would make on that, the percentage that I'll keep in mind would be very high, because I am engaged in learning. I'm not just reading it or listening it or hearing it. So the whole idea is, you use the principles, the 3 ones I've given you. Now all those principles you apply, and then you start using this strategy. In this strategy, you start using all the hacks that I've given you. You basically take all the workflow notes that you need. Whenever you are in doubt, you GPT it. Whenever you're reading this book or this book, you put audio plus physical together. Combine this is the whole strategy that I use for learning anything in my life. Because I've been asked this question 1,000 times at least, which is, how do you learn? Well, this is how I learned. Cool. And here's where we come to the end. I just got one comment on my YouTube channel which said that, teach me like how do you learn stuff. And I just made a whole video out of it. What I want you all to do is put more comments in and let me know what you want the video on, so that I can make more videos like this in the comment section. Share this with someone that you feel would get help from this video, and press the subscribe button without even thinking, because this channel is gonna help you make more money for sure.